Hello everyone and welcome to Tathastu ICS. My name is Trija Garg and I am your economy faculty. Today is our lecture 2, that is the episode 2 of budget. Okay, and we will be discussing our priority number 1, that is basically to improve the productivity and to improve the resilience in agriculture. Okay, so let us just revise quickly what did we understand. What did we understand in yesterday's class was, or yesterday's analysis was, that this year's budget is actually focusing on 4 areas, that is farmers, poor, women and youth. So these are the 4 areas we will be focusing on, and this year's theme is to generate more and more of employment, to enhance the skills of the youth, of the people, okay, to support the MSME sector, that is micro, small and medium enterprises, and also to support the well-being of the middle class people. Okay, now just remember this. Now what we will do is, first of all we will analyze what this budget brings in the agricultural sector. Then in the end we will analyze how these goals or these themes or these focus areas are connected to the agriculture, that is our priority sector number 1. Okay, so let us understand by this. We have already understood? Yes. So first of all we have productivity and resilience in agriculture. Point number 1 is transforming agricultural research, that is comprehensive review of the agriculture research setup to bring focus on raising productivity and developing climate resilient varieties. So first of all they want to increase the productivity in the agriculture. You know that the land is fixed. Ab land to बढ़ नहीं सकता है, right? So how can we increase the productivity? We need to increase the productivity on the fixed land only. उस land की हमें चीजें better करनी पड़ेंगी, तभी productivity increase होगी, है ना? तो अगर हम बात करें, सबसे पहली चीज that they are saying is climate resilient varieties. We need certain seeds. You remember Green Revolution? We brought new technology in terms of high yielding variety seeds. Similarly, we need climate resilient varieties so that whatever cultivation is happening, that doesn't get impacted due to the climate change in the country or the economy or the global level, right? So now we are talking about climate resilient varieties here. Also, they want to increase the research. Now, who will research? The scientists will research, the researchers will research, right? Now, the problem is that the government is saying that they will actually enhance the innovation. So what is the objective? To improve the agricultural productivity and develop crop varieties that can withstand the climate change. Whatever climate change is happening in the country or at the global level, our varieties are able to withstand that. For example, face that, become more resilient. Okay, they don't get much hampered because of that. Now, funding in challenge mode. Funding will be provided on a competitive basis. They are saying that researchers, innovators, they will come, they will compete, they will find a solution to this, and based on the competition, they will be given funding. Okay, and that funding will help indeed the farmers of the country. And farmers, one of the main focus areas, you remember farmers, Annadata are the one of the focus areas, they are getting what? Helped by the government's budget, by the government's funding. Okay, दूसरा, women in the agricultural sector can be encouraged more to participate. 3, poor people. Okay, now imagine what happens for a small farmer. अब उसका जितना भी cultivation है वो खत्म हो गया because of climate change, वो खराब हो गया. So that small farmer is facing a lot of problems. Now, if the government funds the innovation projects of researchers, of the scientists, what will happen? Those farmers now know that the variety of seeds have become climate change resilient. Now their income will not get basically impacted much. Now they can also spend on this money, and I'm pretty sure those people, how will they get these variety of seeds when they don't have money? The government will provide them with credit at low interest rate. Okay, to address specific challenges. This means researchers will compete for funds by proposing the best solutions. Private sector involvement will also be there. The private sector will also be eligible for funding. So besides the government sector, the private sector can also fund the researchers, the innovation projects for the climate change. Okay, fostering a collaboration environment between the private and the public sector. What will be the oversight? Experts from both government and private sector will monitor and guide the research to ensure its effective and effectiveness and relevance, okay, as per the need. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now let us understand how this in transforming agricultural research will increase the employment. Imagine more employment generation for farmers. Now they will be more incentivized to actually produce goods in the cultivation of crops, right? Because now we have climate resilient varieties. Now if we talk about researchers, we talk about scientists, their job will also increase, their employment will also increase, okay, more and more entrepreneurs will come for the innovation of this, right? That is how we are increasing the employment. Now if we talk about the skilling, once we have the climate resilient varieties, you know that the farmers will be trained for that. So now the skilling of the farmers will also increase, so that the productivity of the agricultural sector increases and it starts contributing more to the basically our GDP, that is economic growth. Okay, so I hope the first point is clear. Now let's come to the second point. The second point talks about release of new varieties. Okay, when we say varieties, we are talking about the seeds. So we need new high yielding variety. Yielding means more return of the seed, means more production, and climate resilient varieties. So what is the objective? To provide farmers with new crop varieties that produce more yield and are resistant to climate change. The same thing only. What is the scope? The scope is release of 109 new varieties of crops, okay, which will include both field crops, basically the crops which are cultivated on field, for example cereals and pulses, and horticultural crops, basically these crops are cultivated in orchards, okay. So for example fruits and vegetables. So total 32 crops and 109 new varieties of seeds, okay. What will be the benefit of this? These new varieties will help farmers increase their production. If their production increases, their market surplus, that is the surplus that they are selling in the market, increases, and cope better with the changing climate conditions, because climate change also impacts the life of the farmers. उनकी income खत्म हो जाती है, stability नहीं रहती है. Now this will get more stability for the farmers. So again, the focus area of poor and farmers met with this, and again more employment will be generated here as well, okay, in the farming section. Then the third one is natural farming, okay. What is the objective here? Encourage 1 crore farmers to adopt natural farming. When we say natural farming, basically we are using less of chemicals and improving the soil fertility, okay, methods within the next 2 years. So natural farming products will be supported through how? One, we will provide them certification to ensure the quality of the cultivation, and branding to help market the products. Now imagine whatever crops use less chemicals and they are produced properly using only natural farming, then those products will become more superior to the other products. Again, more incentive for the farmers to earn more amount of money or sell their goods at higher market price in the market, right? Incentive to the farmers, making their lives better, also improving the productivity of the agricultural sector, that is also maintaining the soil fertility. So implementation, again scientific institutions and the interested village councils, that is the Gram Panchayat, they will lead the efforts. When we talk about the infrastructure here, we will establish, government will establish 10,000 bio input resource centers to supply natural farming inputs such as organic fertilizers and pest controls. So instead of using the chemical based fertilizers and pesticides, now we will use organic. So that will maintain the soil fertility, that is improve the soil fertility. Also the farmers, again our focus area, they will be able to sell their market surplus at a bit higher prices, and again more income to them, okay. Missions for pulses and oil seeds. So you must know about this, that more than 60 to 65% of our oil seeds demands are met by imports, right? So imports of oil seeds, and we want to become Atmanirbhar, that is self-reliant in that, okay. Achieve self-reliance in the production of pulses and oil seeds, reducing dependence on imports. So because if we depend on imports, what happens is we become vulnerable to the other countries. It means that if our import increases, now they know ki ab to they are dependent on us. Even if we increase the prices of something, they know that India is not self-reliant in this, so we will have to buy from them at higher prices. They can interfere in our sovereignty also, right? So that is why, to reduce the import and the dependence on them, we want to become self-reliant, okay. So enhance the production of oil seeds and pulses, storage so that we can store it, and marketing of these crops. What are the targeted crops? Focus on crops like mustard, groundnut, sesame, soybean and sunflower seeds. What is the support that the government will provide them? Financial and strategic support, okay, will be provided to farmers and businesses also. Again, more employment generated, involved for storage, marketing, more employment generated because again the government is providing them support, involved in these crops as outlined. This was also outlined in the interim budget that came before the general elections, okay. This is to achieve the Atmanirbharta in, if we talk about pulses and oilseeds, and to reduce the import dependency. Now, again, this will also improve the food security. Do you remember that when we were ruled by the colonial period, like colonial era, when we were ruled by the Britishers, basically, we were not self-sufficient in food crops because we were made to produce more and more of cash crops. And after independence, we started to become more and more self-sufficient for our domestic demand of crops and food, right? This will also help us to gain food security now. Okay, what if something happens in the world? Okay, we wouldn't have to depend upon the import of oilseeds and pulses. Now we will become self-sufficient and the government can actually stock the buffer for the, you can say, immediate needs or any emergency, okay, and support farmers economically also. This is also again increasing the farmers' income. Now, because earlier we used to import, now the farmers will have incentive to actually produce oilseeds and pulses. Now, if you see, again we are focusing, our focus area, farmers, okay, this is being met, okay. Similarly, employment is getting generated, okay, their skills are also getting generated. When we talk about the businesses here, imagine MSMEs, their storage facilities, they are also getting supported with this, right? Now, let's talk about vegetable production and supply chain. You know, there's a very big problem of supply chains here. So, if we boost the vegetable production and sustainable supply chains to reduce wastage and ensure availability in the market. For this, we will establish large-scale vegetable production clusters near major cities and consumption areas so that the demand is being met by our country. Promote the formation of farmer-produce organization. What a farmer-produce organization? Basically, those are cooperatives. Okay, so all the farmers with the same interest, they come together and they raise money, and they actually, as per the money, they use those money to actually provide inputs to other farmers. Okay, they have a farmer producer organization. So we will encourage this, okay, so that more and more farmers, because you must know that we have more of marginal and small farmers in our country, right? And the problem with them is the financial problem. So with this, they will be able to basically avail the inputs that they require, cooperatives and startups to manage the collection, storage and marketing of vegetables. This focus will ensure efficient supply chains from farm to market. So because you know that crops are perishable also. So whatever problem happens in transportation, etc., storage facilities, now if we actually make our supply chain more robust, what will happen? From farm to the market, supply chain will be robust, it will be efficient, and farmers' life will get improved because now their market surplus will be sold in the market properly. Okay, reducing losses and improving freshness also of the cultivation. Clear? Digital public infrastructure for agriculture. Now you know that everything is getting digitally connected. So we will integrate digital technologies to manage agricultural information and processes more effectively. So what is the pilot success? Building a successful initial project, the initiative will expand nationwide. So first we will have a pilot project and then it will expand nationwide. Cover all farmers and their lands within 3 years. Within 3 years, we will have the data of all the farmers and their lands. Okay, so that they are integrated on digitally, and we will conduct a digital crop survey for the Kharif season, that is the monsoon crops in 400 districts, because it is starting. It has started already, the Kharif season. Farmer registry also. We will have detailed records of 6 crore farmers and their lands. Kisan credit cards. Okay, Jan Samarth. Okay, this was started in 2022. In this, basically the farmers will be able to avail the loans, the credit loans at a very low interest rate in 5 states, providing farmers with very easy access to credit. Again, digital infrastructure, making it easier for farmers to avail the loans at lower interest rates. Okay, then we have shrimp production and exports. Now, when we talk about seafood export, shrimp production carries a lot of weightage. Okay, so objective is to enhance shrimp production so that it increases our export and boost exports. So more than 65% of the total seafood export is our shrimp production. Okay, so financial support will be provided to the farmers provide funds to establish nucleus breeding centers for shrimp broodstocks, which will essential for high quality shrimp farming. So for the shrimp farming, we will have proper organic nucleus breeding centers by the government. We will facilitate the financing for shrimp farming, processing also, and export activities also, because again more than 65% of seafood export is of shrimp production through NABARD, that is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Okay, with the help of them, we will finance the farming of the shrimp production. Then comes the National Cooperation Policy. Foster systematic growth and development of the cooperative sector. As I told you, cooperative sector again very important for our economy. Okay, policy goal is accelerate rural economic growth. We want to accelerate the economic growth, and the problem with them is the financing. So if we actually develop the more of the cooperative sector, this will help them only, and this will also create large scale employment opportunities for them, because cooperative sector actually helps create employment in the economy. Now, what will the implementation? We will implement a national cooperation policy to guide and support the cooperative development, which will be announced later on. Now, what is the budget allocation to this? The budget allocation to our agriculture and related sector. You must know about this, that the primary sector is known as the agriculture and related sector, or agriculture and allied activities, right? So, we will allocate rupees 1.5 to lakh crores to support this sector. Purpose is to fund various initiatives and policies aimed at improving the productivity, the resilience, and the sustainability in the agriculture, right? So, these are the points which on which we are focusing. This is the priority one. Now, this basically priority one, our focus areas, one of the focus areas is farmers and poor people and women also. So one, they will support the farmers in all the ways they can. Two, poor people as well. Okay, they can get more incentives to actually get into agricultural sector. Three, that women, can be involved in agricultural sector. Then let's talk about the theme, that is the employment. As we have already discussed, all of this will generate employment in different areas, and also the farmers will become more trained or to actually use their inputs more efficiently. Okay, even MSME sectors in storage, marketing facilities can also help, distribution facilities can also help, and this is how we are actually focusing on our farmers, poor people, women, and also on employment and scaling. Everything of this will generate employment. What is the part of the government? To fund them, to encourage the private sector to actually help achieve these goals. Okay, so this was our priority 1. In tomorrow's lecture, we will be discussing on the priority 2, which is basically employment and scaling. Okay, now this PDF, my written PDF, is available in the description. You can download from that. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.